In this lecture, we're going to see how we can compare strings using the compare behavior of the std string type. And you see here we have many columns to try and really get to this behavior, but this is nothing to be scared of. You're going to see that it is actually very easy to use. Again, we are going to be using the same rules to compare our strings. Two strings are going to be considered equal if they have the same size and they contain the same characters. If they are not equal, we can compare them based on lexicographical order. So if one comes before the other in the alphabet order, it's going to be less than the other. This is how these things work. Here are the rules we're going to follow to use stdcompare. If the string for which we call the compare behavior comes before the character sequence that we have in the parentheses, then the return value is going to be a negative value. If the two strings are equal, if what we have in the string and what we have in the parentheses are equal, we're going to get a 0. If what we have in the string comes after what we have in the parentheses in lexicographical order, then we're going to get a positive number out of this thing. I know this may sound confusing, but we're going to take this apart a little bit, and you're going to see that it is not that hard. Here we have a simple example. We're going to be comparing two strings. So we're going to be using stdcompare. We can call this behavior on any string type that we have here. So here you see that we are printing out string 1 and string 2, which contain hello and world. And down here you see we are doing str1 compare that to str2. What this is going to do is do a comparison between hello and world. And we are going to say we are comparing hello to world. World is what we have in the parentheses here. So hello is going to come in front of world. That's how the alphabet order works. So we're going to have a negative number out of this. This is what we expect. If we reverse these things and say str2 compared to str1, what we are basically saying is we are comparing world to hello, and world comes after hello in the alphabetic order, so this is going to return something positive. We can also compare part of a string to another string. Here we have a simple example to play with us. We have hello stored in str1 and we have hello world stored in str3. We can say we want to compare world to hello that we have in str1, and we're going to get world as part of str3. So the way we're going to do that, we're going to hunt for the index of this world here, and it is going to be index 6. If you count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the W is at index 6. We are going to say we want to start at index 6 in str3 here, and we want to go 5 characters. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're going to have the world here, and we want to compare that to str1. So we are basically comparing world to hello, and world comes after hello in alphabetic order, so this is going to be something positive. This is what we're going to get here. We can also compare an std string to a C string, and this is going to follow the same rules. We are just going to be storing the second C string in a different type. The first example here is going to say str5 compared to message. In message, we store world. So we are basically going to compare hello to world. Hello comes in front of world. We're going to get a negative value here. Now it is just that we are using a string literal to really use that in parentheses here. Okay, this is how you use this thing. We have many more versions of the compare behavior here, but we're not going to look into that. You can check that out for yourself if you really are interested in going that deep. For now, we're going to go in Visual Studio Code and play with us. Okay, here we are in our working folder. The current project is stdstringcompare. We are going to grab our template files and do that pretty quick. We're going to put them in the current project, which is 1512 here. And we are going to open this in Visual Studio Code. Let's do that and remove what we don't need in the main function here. And we're going to include our string library. We are going to go down and put in our code to play with this. We have two strings, hello and world, stored in str1 and str2. We are going to print them out and we are going to compare them. So here we are really saying str1 compared to str2. And what this is going to do is compare hello and world. Hello comes in front of world. So based on the rules we had in the slides, we are going to have a negative value printed out here. So let's say that. That's what we're going to return here. And here we're going to basically have the reverse. We're going to say str2 compared to str1. So we are going to say world compared to hello. World comes after hello in alphabetical order. So we're going to have a positive value here. Okay, so let's say that. And we're going to see this if we run this in our compiler here. So let's do that. We're going to build this with GCC. The build is going to be good. We're going to bring up a terminal that we can use to run this thing. We are going to clear and run Rooster. And we're going to see that for the first, we're going to get a negative value. For the second, we're going to get a positive value. And it is what we expect here. Let's comment this out and look at another example. What we are going to do now is compare part of one string to another string. Here we have two strings. One is str1, the other is str3 here. And we are going to take the world in str3 and compare that to hello in str1. The way we say that, we're going to specify the index from which we want to start grabbing our part of str3, and that happens to be 6. If you count here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the W is at index 6, and we're going to grab 5 characters after that. So starting from world, we're going to grab 5 characters, and that's going to give us world, and we are going to compare that to str1. This is what we mean here. So world compared to hello, world comes after hello in alphabetical order. So this is going to be something positive. It's going to be a 1 possibly. And if we try and build this, we're going to see the result in a minute. We are going to clear and run Rooster, and you see that this is positive exactly as we expected. So you can compare part of one string to another string. We are going to comment this out. I am going to show you one more example. And that's that you can compare a string to a C string. Or to be exact, you can compare an std string to a C string. Here we have an std string, which is called str5 here. Inside we have hello, and we have a C string pointed to by this const char pointer. It is called message, and inside we have world. We can compare them starting from our string here. So we're going to say string 5 compare to message. What we are going to be basically saying is hello compared to world. Hello comes in front of world in our alphabetical order. So this is going to be negative. We're going to get -1 on all these guys because we basically have world in there. For the second example here, we are just using a string literal directly without storing that in a variable. And this is also going to give us a -1 because hello comes in front of world. If we try to build this, let's do that. We're going to use GCC. The build is going to be through. It's going to be good. And if we run Rooster, we should get -1s in here. And that's what we get. This is really all we set out to do in this lecture. I just wanted you to be aware that you can use stdcompare to compare your strings. But I don't really recommend using this because in the last lecture we saw that we could use our logical comparison operators, and those are going to be more intuitive. But compare is much more flexible in that you can really do all kinds of crazy things with it. If you want to learn more about this, you just have to go through the documentation for your favorite C++ standard library reference, and you're going to have all kinds of crazy things about this behavior. For now, we are just going to stop here. In the next lecture, we're going to see many more cool things you can do with std string, like resizing, copying stuff, replacing stuff. We're going to look at all these things. Go ahead and finish up here and meet me there.